Oh, hello, students. This is Rabbi Sholomo Levy, and it is my pleasure to record this brief video to demonstrate how to use a very helpful app. And it's this one up here in the upper right hand of my screen called Biblical Hebrew. I downloaded. I'm going to demonstrate how to use that one. And another one called Hebrew Cards. But this one I like because it's very good and it's very cheap. When you open it, you'll download it. Make sure you get the one by Curtis Clements. There's several of them if you go into your app store, Hebrew Cards, but you want the one by Curtis Clements that looks like, again, I'll show you, like this one, Biblical Hebrew. You open it up, and these are some features. For the very beginning student who's still working on the alphabet, you could just practice the alphabet. It will show you a letter like this, and you'll say, to see if you know what it is, you'll say Gimel, and it has a G sound, and then you click the screen and it will confirm or correct what you said. It is not a quiz, it's not A, B, C, or D, it's going to show you the letter, and then you go to the next letter, Tzaddik, and if you know it, you know how to say it, and it's not giving you to an order, it's random, so you should already study. This is the way to test. Kaf, and it will give you Mem, and you will go through Samek, and it will show it to you Vav, and you will go through all the alphabet, all the letters that way until you know all of them by sight, that you can see a letter, recognize it, and know what the sound should be. If you've mastered that, then you go on and you do the same thing for the vowels. And so you hear it will give you a letter, but you're focusing on the vowel. What vowel is that under the bet? So that's the Sere Gadol, and it's going to be an A sound, the O sound, the Kibbutz is going to be U sound, the A sound. Now here, this is going to be interesting. We pronounce it A. The Ashkenazi often have an O, but it will show you when it's going to be, and it actually shows you both the A and sometimes as a O. And you'll go through all of your vowels until you know all your letters and all your vowels. Now, for most of the students in my Biblical Hebrew course, you know the letters and vowels pretty well. Some of you very good readers already, and so you're working on vocabulary. And this app is going to help you memorize the vocabulary words that are assigned each week, and also to remember those from previous weeks. So the way you do that, and this is what's really great about it, you select the textbook that we're using, and they already have most of the textbooks that are used for Biblical Hebrew already programmed in with all the words. So it has the book that I learned with, Thomas Lambdin's An Introduction to Biblical Hebrew, and then below that it has the book that we're using this semester, the newer book, Basics of Biblical Hebrew by Practico and Van Pelt. That's our book. So you select that, and here it has all the words already in the program for you. So if you were to select any chapter, say lesson 4, for example, you could either add all of these words to your review, and you would select this, and that would add them to your review cards, the whole set. You'll see that in a moment, and then it will give you the word. So here we have a word, nefesh. It shows you the accent over the noon, indicating that the stress is going to be on the first syllable and not the last syllable. Without such a mark, we always put the emphasis or the stress on the last syllable. When we see that, it puts it on the first, we would say nefesh, not nefesh. So we put the accent on the first, and of course we should know that that word means soul, life, or the soul or life of a person. So nefesh. Then you go to the next word, Torah, of course, meaning teaching or instructions, or sometimes law, although the best translation would be instructions or teaching. Mayim, again, emphasis on the first syllable, water. Isha, meaning wife or woman. Lev, meaning heart. Banot, okay, this is one of our words, the plural of daughters. Adonai, Adonai, Lord. Call, voice. Now, let's say this was a word you wanted to, you didn't add all of the whole lesson, but just particular words. You could add this individual word, call, right? Now, maybe you're adding it because it's very similar to call, meaning all, but this case it means voice with a kuf. So it's very similar to the kuf and the kaf. And if this was a trouble word for me, a word that I wanted to emphasize or keep, I would add that. So voice, sound, or noise, call, as opposed to call meaning meaning all. So I would add that by pressing that tab, add it to my review words. Okay, I'll show you that in a minute. And you can go through every lesson of the whole book already with the words in there. You could add those to your review list. And then when you come back here, you could go to review. So let me show you that. We go to review, and here it has words that I've added from the book into my own personal review list. And so here we have anashim, enayim, eyes. Give you the meaning in case. Adon, Lord. Avot, fathers. Adonai, Lord. Derek, road or way. Banot, daughters, we saw that one earlier. Yamim, days. Sefer, book. Nefesh, soul, we saw that one earlier. Banim, sons. Mayim, water. Okay, so you would go through all of the whole deck. Any word that you, once you feel like you know it, so achim, brothers. Okay, ayin, I. They had the plural enayim, both eyes. But if there's a word that you know, you could make the deck smaller by removing a word once you've mastered it. So if you hit the tab down here, remove, that would take that card out of the deck and just leave the cards that you still need to memorize. So you could start off with 20 and then work that down to 10 and then 5 and then you know all of them. So Zevaot, host or many. Adonai Zevaot, the Lord of hosts or army. Hosts, armies, wars. So this is a good way to drill it. And you could do this on your phone. You could do this on your tablet. You could do it while you're waiting online at the post office, while you're sitting in bed. You could just keep drilling and drilling these words until you know all of them. For the very advanced students, it also gives the top 1,000 words in the Torah. And so it lists them. If you look here, the words that are the top 25 words, the top 50 words, the top 100 words. And what's good about this is you learn words that are the most common first, the words you're most likely to see, the words that are repeated very often. So if we look at this, say, the top 25, so here we have Haya, to come, to pass, was, Bane, son, 8, Yom, and then we have the name of Hashem, which we don't pronounce. You could also back up, by the way, with these. But you'll see that very often. Just the prefix ke, like, according, bo, to come. And you could go to the top 25, the top 50, the top 75, and up to the top 1,000 words. So that could be good for our advanced students so that you're not just limited to the words in the chapters that we've studied so far, but you could expand your vocabulary any way that you want at your own pace. So this is the software that I'm encouraging everyone to get, Biblical Hebrew. Get that, use that, and you'll be able to memorize all the words in our course and words that you're going to use in Torah. Keep up the good work. See you in class. Shalom again, students. This time we're going to demonstrate a app called Hebrew cards, and it is by Zandivan, the early publisher of the book. And this program and the advantage that it has over the Biblical Hebrew app that I previously demonstrated, this one here in the upper right, Biblical Hebrew, this is only a few dollars and is very good. This one is about $20. And for the extra money, what you're getting are a few new features that some of you might find worth it. Others might say, well, the other app, the previous one, works good enough. But primarily, what it also gives you is voice. So if you want the sound, so here you have these same words, and in this case, it's already set up for our book, and it could work with other books as well, but we have it set for our book. And then you pick the chapters that you want to drill. So here, for instance, in this case, I have it set to show me the words from starting with chapter 3 and ending with chapter 6. This is good so that you could keep in your mind the words that you learned from previous weeks. So you drill it, you learn all those words, then you go into the next chapter, and if it's been a few weeks since you've looked at those words, you may forget some. So having it add the new words to the old words, your deck gets bigger and bigger, but the majority of those words that you'll know. So we'll start chapter 3, then say next week I might add this and go up to chapter 7 and add that to my list. Or if I feel I no longer need to look at the words from 3 that's sufficiently known, then I might move that down to 4 and just work from 4 to 7. This is a feature that you don't have with the other program. You could set the frequency, and you could have quiz or just look at the visual. Let's see if we can. Okay, this is, and you could hear, and it will work the same way. So this we saw before, but this would be, say, man. But then if you didn't know or you wanted to check, you could use it just like the others, and it will give you the meaning. Then you can tap and go to the next word, and it will say the word for you. Now this could be good.
Panim.
You see? And it said panim for you first. So that way if you wanted to hear it, then you get that, and then face front before panim, and you would go
Panim.
to ad until, far, during,
Ear.
meaning city, and you would go through it. Im with,
Ehad.
one, okay,
Ein.
I, and again it shows you the accent so that it's there. And to a certain extent, this is a lot like the other app, except it has a nicer background and it pronounces the words for you, and it gives you some feature. You could go to quiz mode if you press this button in the lower right, and then you enter quiz mode. And so Hekal, meaning temple. Okay. Now, if I got this wrong, I would hit an X. Getting it right, I would hit the
Kodesh.
Kodesh, meaning holy. Right?
Yafeh.
Yafeh, meaning beautiful.
Wa.
Meaning and.
Har.
Har, meaning mountain. Okay? And you would keep track, and I think at the end, there are 83 words in the list that I selected. It will give you your score at the end if you went through all of them, keeping track of which ones you got right and which ones you got wrong. Of course, you have to be honest. Har, mountain, did you get it right or wrong?
Kol.
Kol meaning voice, right? And if you got it right, you would. And then when you end,
Hakam.
It would give you your score. And that makes it like a quiz. And that could be good too as a kind of practice quiz. But whichever of these programs you use, the important thing is you spend time with it every day and it will become natural to you and you'll be able to remember words. And then when you're doing translations, either in our workbook, in the textbook, or from the Torah itself, you'll have greater comprehension and understanding of what we're reading and understanding of the Word of God. So, hope these programs help you. They certainly have helped me and a lot of students master the vocabulary. Take care, be well, and hope to see you in class. Shalom.